The reason I was attracted to the guitar was really what I heard on the radio. It was very specific, rhythm guitar I wanted to play. Because it was similar to the drums in a way, because when you lock in with the drummer, it's hard to explain. I just knew I wanted to make those sounds, and it was a physical thing. Almost like hitting a baseball, which I'm a big baseball fan, so it's similar. I asked for an electric guitar for Christmas when I was 13. My parents, they actually got it for me. It was a Sears guitar, and that's what I banged around on in my room in the basement. My earliest memory is just of making loud sounds on Christmas morning, just going, bow, 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 you know, just making noise, and it was, you know, felt great. And watching my father's face was funny. After I got this electric guitar for Christmas, I wanted to learn how to play. So I went to a guitar teacher, but I remember being very exuberant and saying, teach me how to play rock and roll, teach me how to play rock and roll. And instead of saying something like, well, okay, we gotta learn the basics first, so let me teach you chords or something. He didn't say that. He said, girls don't play rock and roll. Let me teach you On Top of Old Smoky. And after that lesson, you know, it really dawned on me, even at that age, that what he was saying wasn't that girls can't master the guitar and play rock and roll, because I'm in school with girls playing cello, violin, symphony music, Bach and Beethoven. So I never went back to him, and I just bought one of those learn how to play guitar by yourself books. It taught you a few basic chords and was able to kind of play along with some records. That's really the way I learned until I got out to California and met up with other girls that wanted to play too. Formed a band, the Runaways. What rock and roll meant to me at that time was acceptance. I thought girls would be accepted in that world, and I was wrong. Freedom. Travel. It wasn't about being famous, it was just about being in a band and touring and, you know, putting a record out and all that stuff. Yeah, if you got famous, great, but it was more about the music. The history of this guitar, I believe I got it in the 80s at some point, driving around touring in a pawn shop. And it's an Epiphone. Yeah, and I mean, I just love it. You got all these great cracks in the wood. And it's got personality. It's beat up, but I beat it up, you know? It's a basic learn how to play guitar. One knob, you don't even have a tone knob. So it's just a volume and an on-off switch. And the on-off switch, for me, because I believe, yeah, I put this in. When, you know, when you're on stage and you're talking and singing, you can't just let the guitar go, because it's gonna feed back and make all kinds of noise. So you have to be able to, so I practice, you know, I mean, I don't practice this, but that's what I wind up doing the whole show. So it's very handy. And nice, great neck, small, easy to get your hands around, and the guitar sounds great. And it's kind of got a little heart in the top. So they're very consistent sounding from guitar to guitar because they have the same pickups. The stickers, I know this one was first, the Doughboy. And the reason I put the Doughboy on there is to symbolize people that do this. So, you know, just use your imagination. I'm not a thing to be poked. Don't poke me. I think these are stickers from when Kenny's daughter was younger, I believe, when she was like a kid. This, the Gitz, was a band from Seattle. Their lead singer, a woman named Mia Zapata, but she was raped and murdered on the way home from a club. The reason it struck me so much is I was hanging out in Seattle a lot then, writing songs. Specifically, Kathleen Hanna and I were working on songs. So everybody was so freaked out, you know, and then people started worrying, oh my God, it could be like the person next to me, the person that's my friend that I... So it kind of like really screwed up part of that scene because people didn't know who did it. We wound up doing a project together where I would sing lead and we'd do Gitz songs and we'd use the money, we'd donate it to the private investigator that was looking for her murderer, which they did catch eventually. So the Gitz, that's pretty much just me loving them. And by the way, the band thing that we did do and went around the country touring as a evil Stig, which is Gitz live backwards. So, you know, it was just something I could maybe give back a little bit. And so that's what we did. But anyway, that's the Gitz. This is S&M Flag. Need I say more? The sound and the tone, a lot of it's in this pickup, so it's very similar to the white guitar. I buy a lot of guitars, or I did, at pawn shops. And the Runaways had a road crew that was based in Cleveland. They were called the Rowdy Roadies. My roadie, Tom, said that he knew where I could get a melody maker. His friend Eric was selling one. So I got the guitar, this white guitar. This Eric turned out to be Eric Carmen of the Raspberries. So this guitar had played on Please Go All the Way, this famous and I just confirmed that this rumor is true because for years, Eric Carmen also heard the rumor. One of his guitars was sold to me in the Runaways, but he wasn't sure if that was true, and I wasn't sure if that was true until we both heard the rumor and confirmed it was true. That's how the white guitar came about, and it's really a basic guitar. It's just a volume knob, a tone knob, which is always all the way up, and this is an on-off toggle switch, and it's one pickup, so you don't have to worry about switching between pickups. It's a small neck, you know, it's not too big, and it's not too fat, so it's easy to get my hands around. It's a rock and roll guitar, straight up, you know, but I also altered the guitar to sound really great. I put in special pickups that I found in the Runaways and really have kept in all my guitars since then because it's a unique sound. Red Rhodes, who I guess came up with the Rhodes keyboard, him and his son used to make these pickups and they would hand wind the coils, which I guess is a very labor-intensive thing to do. So they got tired of doing it and stopped doing it. So I got the last 8 or something and put them in all my guitars. And the stickers, they sort of accumulated over the years as I was on the road. You know, I get band stickers and, you know, it's just some of, I guess, my thoughts as well. I play, and I have played really since the beginning of the Blackhearts, a Music Man 212, which means it's got 2 12-inch speakers in it. It's an all self-contained amp, you know, it's not 2 pieces. It's a smaller amp, but, you know, you can also get a few of them, put them together, so you could certainly play it on stage. And I have EV speakers in them, and to me that's very important. And it's pretty basic. I don't use a lot of pedals. I have 1 pedal, distortion box, which I don't always use, because I usually get enough distortion just from the pickup in my guitar. So it's just that and a tuner. Sometimes, depending on the song, we would change guitars for a different flavor or a different mood or something, but this guitar and my others are, you know, all on every song, pretty much. A lot of the story is about perseverance for anyone. I met Kenny Laguna to complete a Runaways project, but the band had broken up, and I was supposed to write songs for this movie. And I didn't want to get sued, so my manager at the time knew Kenny and knew that Kenny could work with people and write songs quickly. With some prodding from his wife, Meryl Laguna, he came out to meet me in California. We became best friends right away. I had an ally who played music, and then I wanted to form another band, but with guys, not with girls, because it would be looked at as, you know, trying to continue what the Runaways were doing. So I decided to move out to New York switch coasts, and we were rejected by the music business completely, you know, by the record companies. And I have 23 letters to prove it. You know, we felt insulted, rightfully so, because the songs we sent them were all hits. I Love Rock and Roll, Crimson and Clover, Do You Want to Touch Me? So it either tells you they don't listen to what people send them, they can't hear hits, or they already made a decision. You know, we're not signing her, write a nice letter, because we know Kenny or something, and blow her off. We were hitting walls every place we went. The only place we didn't hit walls was playing live. My relationship with my father's place started in the Runaways, in my first band, and somebody gave me this picture here. Let me show you. This is my father's place, the Runaways, in 1976. That tells you where it started. Once I moved to New York with the Blackhearts, it was an obvious place where we would have played anyway. I mean, it's one of the staples that bands would always play. If you came to Long Island, you're playing my father's place. It's like home, you know, it's hard to explain, but everybody knows their local place they feel comfortable with, to go have a drink, go watch a band, and, you know, that's what my father's place was to a lot of people. And for me, you know, being local as well, living in Long Island, took pride in being able to come here and play. We're coming to play my father's place, and it was the first sellout. The fact we had the big guys like WNEW and WLIR and BAB out on Long Island, we were able to circumvent the industry and still have success. We created our own label, Blackheart Records, and we own all our music. You know, I'm glad we stuck it out like that, and it shows you can do it. If you believe in something and you want to do something, go for it. I really think it's important for everybody to be able to take a shot. I mean, that's what you're here for. And to me, it's about that moment that I might have with everybody in the audience where we meet eyes, you know, and we smile. And they might be singing the words, maybe the wrong words, and then I sing the wrong words. But it's that connection that happens a million times. That's really the magic in it.